Hello, my name is Rebekah Snyder, and I am a rooftop nesting biologist with Audubon Florida. Welcome to our Working with Rooftop Nesting Birds informational video. This video is designed for landowners, managers, HVAC, and rooftop repair workers to understand the circumstance and seriousness of encountering state-sensitive species during working operations. We'll be discussing why birds nest on gravel rooftops, what birds you may encounter on the rooftop, why this affects you or your workers, and what you can do in a situation where you have nesting birds. Audubon Florida works to protect native birds and their habitats. This includes state-listed species and their breeding grounds. Some coastal birds are state-listed species and nest on both beaches and artificial habitats, such as flat gravel rooftops. Because so many birds nest on flat gravel rooftops, Audubon has an entire program dedicated to the protection and monitoring of rooftop nesters. Here's a list of the birds that nest on flat gravel rooftops in Florida. All of these birds are protected seabirds and shorebirds on the Gulf Coast. Some are listed as state threatened, but one bird, the roseate tern, is considered federally endangered. The most common bird found on gravel rooftops are the least tern, located on the top row here in the center. Least terns are so common on rooftops that there are over 300 sites that are monitored in this state, and there are likely even more that we don't know of. Currently, over half of the state's population of least terns nest on flat gravel rooftops. You might be wondering, if these birds are coastal birds, why are they nesting on rooftops? Seabirds and shorebirds nest in a small depression on the ground, called a scrape, and do not build elaborate nests like many other birds do. They nest on gravel rooftops because it looks identical to them as their natural nesting habitat, which is open beachfront. Unfortunately, habitat loss, disturbances, and predation have all contributed to the utilization of rooftops by these species. Since least terns are the most likely species you may encounter during your working operations, it is important that you have a good idea of what they look like and when you may encounter them. They are small, gull-like birds with a bright yellow beak and a black face mask. They are migratory and will arrive along the Gulf Coast in late March and early April. Their breeding range is between April and August. These birds are colonial nesters, which means you could find a few to several hundred on one single rooftop. They lay 2 to 3 eggs in each nest and can re-nest their entire season if the first nest has failed. They eat small, minnow-sized fish and can frequently be seen flying to and from a rooftop to a water source to forage. So how do you know if a rooftop has actively nesting birds? Generally, least terns will flush when they are disturbed and make extremely loud squeaking sounds. They dive bomb when they think a predator is near or whenever they feel like you are threatening them or too close to their nesting area or chicks. From the ground, you can usually see several of the birds flush into the air at once. You may even find fragments of eggshells that have flown off the roof or a dead fish on the ground that a bird has dropped. Why is going on a gravel rooftop or working on a gravel rooftop harmful to nesting birds? For starters, eggs are very small and are easily hidden in the substrate. It is extremely easy to accidentally step on them unknowingly. Second, adults may flush and get scared off, which means their nest and chicks are left to fend for themselves and are likely to get overheated or captured by a predator. Third, if chicks are present, visiting the rooftops will startle them and cause them to run. Because many of our rooftops do not have barriers, chicks can run straight off the roof or into gutters and drain pipes that go underground. And last but not least, all of these and more stressful events are considered a disturbance to the birds. Disturbing state-protected species is considered take under Florida state law. So what exactly is take? Take, quite simply, is against the law and is written as, no person shall take, possess, or sell any of the threatened species or parts thereof or their nests or eggs. Take also means the following: to harass, harm, pursue, hunt, shoot, wound, kill, trap, capture, or collect, or to attempt to engage in such conduct. The term harm in the definition of take means an act which actually kills or injures fish or wildlife. Such act may include significant habitat modification or degradation, or actually kills or injures wildlife by significantly impairing essential behavior patterns, including breeding, feeding, or sheltering. The term harass in the definition of take means an intentional or negligent act or omission which creates the likelihood of injury to wildlife by annoying it to such an extent as to significantly disrupt normal behavior patterns, which include, but are not limited to, breeding, feeding, or sheltering. So what do you do if you find an active rooftop, or if you think that there are state-listed species on a rooftop that you need access to? First, please remember that going on the rooftop while birds are nesting is harmful to them. It is important to make sure that the birds do not get disturbed and that all rooftop repairs, maintenance, and rooftop visits cease immediately. Second, call either Audubon Florida's rooftop nesting biologist or FWC's regional shorebird biologist for your region. They can help direct you in the most appropriate way to handle your situation. For the Panhandle, please contact either myself, Rebekah, with Audubon Florida, or Nick Vitale with FWC. For the Tampa Bay region, please call Kara Cook with Audubon or Tyson Dallas with FWC. Thank you for your time and for helping us make a safer place for rooftop nesters to raise their young. We are always available to help and are happy to answer any questions that you may have.